which is why people are drawn to it, just like anything else. It's a little bit difficult, right?
I was hooked the first time I went, and you know, I do it on the side, but you know, boxing and football are my number one things. Teaching kids at school. I love my job teaching.
Absolutely. So
seventh grade social studies.
how are things going in Welch now? Since you have a boxing gym down there,
the gym is the best gym I've ever put together. I was there for, I guess, about 8 months, and there was a guy that had given us a space to train, and all we had was a heavy bag and a combo dummy and a pair of mitts and 2 pair of gloves. That's all we had. And we went through a winter up there with no heat, and kids were, there was still like 7 or 8 kids showing up every day. And after about 8 months, the guy that ran the facility there decided to invest in the program, and he went out and spent about, I'd say about $7,000 or $8,000. Got us a ring, heavy bag.
What are you rambling about, Scott? There's a fighter coming out.
He definitely bulked us up in our gym. Then we got a competition ring, and we were blessed on that. We stumbled on it for like $500.
it's the future, man.
And we see
it's still going now.
Has already stepped into the ring. Brown belt under Henzo Gracie, dangerous fighter. And here comes the challenger, Chase Thomas out of Rhino Academy, the Fireball Kid. Nickname given to him by yours truly. Now he's got some very sexy t-shirts to go with it. I might just be wearing one myself. But I'll tell you this, I'm a fan.
He looks pumped and ready, though.
I'm a fan
really
of both
does.
of these guys. I think these are 2 of the biggest amateur prospects in West Virginia MMA facing off for this title.
So as you said before, so Chance has beat a lot of people on this card, is that correct? Or at least 1 or 2?
Chance has beat Preston Starcher, who we're going to see later in the night. And Chance has looked unstoppable. We don't get to see him compete often. He's one of those guys, like he takes his time in between fights, but he's constantly working. Very good kickboxer as well. You know, I talk about his brown belt and his jiu-jitsu skills, but many people I've trained with that also train with him have told me that guy can kickbox. Has some of the heaviest leg kicks you'll ever feel. Look at those thighs on that boy.
Yes, yeah.
And you want to talk about thickness, look at old Chase Thomas. That's a thick young man. He's built like a tank.
He is.
And he carries big power in his hands. In that last fight, both of his fights, we've seen him drop guys with that right hand.
Yeah. Doesn't really matter about the win or loss part,
right.
You know?
Featherweight Championship. Introducing corner. Chance Grillot.
So,
Chase the Fireball Kid.
Elijah, has Chance's fights, all 6 of his fights, been in New Line, or is he bounced around a little bit?
I think that he's had a couple outside of New Line, up in like this area and Pittsburgh area.
Well, no, on paper, it looks like a great matchup. 2-0 versus 3-3.
He's been undefeated at New Line, though.
Okay.
Those 3 losses he took were against high-level competition up here up north.
I see.
And you see Chase coming out, you see that big power already.
Yeah. And you're right.
He catches a kick, lands a big right hand.
Well, he does have some big old thighs, don't
he? Sure does. He must have wrestled, I assume.
And nice high kick from Chance Grillot.
Absolutely.
Hides it really well.
That's that traditional martial arts background coming back from Greg Dillon and the sports jiu-jitsu background that they have.
You can see that Chance is a lot more comfortable with his kicks than he is his hands, though.
Yes.
And it's the opposite for Chase. Chase is very confident in his power in his hands.
Just got to worry, man. If that guy's thighs equal wrestling, then those kicks could be a
Chase grew up wrestling. Chase grew up wrestling.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think it's going to be very difficult for Chance to take him down.
Yes. There's a first takedown attempt that was really probably just to not make sure he quit getting hit.
Chance, the takedowns he likes to use are in the clinch as well. And we've seen him pull guard.
Ooh.
If he gets frustrated on the feet, I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls guard.
Interesting. That'd be a tough one, man. Again, this might be the most well-rounded fight of the night. These guys so far look good. They look good on the feet. Look good in the
I'll
clinch.
tell you this, Chase's hands look dangerous.
Yes.
And in those small gloves, it doesn't take much.
Well, he's not afraid to throw. That's the difference right now. He's very confident, right?
Well, we saw Grillot against Starcher. Preston Starcher cracked him on the feet early in that fight, and that's why he pulled guard.
Interesting. Okay.
Good kick to the midsection.
Like you said, maybe he's more confident in the feet than he is with the hands, right?
I think definitely so.
Yeah, because there's a lot of action with the feet.
He looks very defensively sound, though, with his hands. He's
does.
got a good high guard. Defensively, you got to be a lot different than you are in boxing in MMA because of the small gloves.
Yeah.
And you see, he's got a perfect guard for it, keeping his hands on the forehead.
That would have to make a big difference between boxing
And that's
MMA.
a traditional martial arts thing. They call it like that monkey paw style where you're...
Absolutely, yep.
Well, I'm absolutely not an MMA guy. I've never coached an MMA fighter, except I've had a couple come in the gym
He's
to
doing
learn
exactly
stand-up.
what he needs to do defensively. He's keeping those hands glued to the forehead. He can still see, and as the shots come, you're moving.
I see. Definitely a different technique than boxing.
It's way different. Just because if you're here, traditional boxing, stuff gets through.
Yeah, stuff gets through.
That's why you see sometimes traditional boxers or traditional kickboxers go into MMA and get knocked out by guys who don't have the striking acumen that they do. It's just stuff gets through and you get cracked, and you can't play that game of just sitting waiting on shots to come.
All right. Well, it's the other thing too. You might bob or weave right into a kick.
Right into a kick or a punch or a knee.
Has to change the whole thing.
Especially those fighters that react by sometimes putting their head down and they'll run right into it.
You see that high guard again. He's got those hands where they need to be, but stuff still gets through.
Oh, that's another good kick.
Oh, man, right up the middle with front kick. Misses, though.
His kicks are,
He has solid traditional martial arts kicks. He doesn't throw them Thai style either with that power. He throws them very quick. But that's the problem with that.
It's an entertaining fight.
If you throw those low kicks,
takedown, almost.
If you throw those high kicks without putting your hips into them, guys can just walk through them. You saw that's what Chase did.
Solid point. I was thinking that earlier, right? Like, they look good, but if you're not cracking them, like if they're just hitting you in the face, they're just scoring
if
points.
If you don't make them feel it, they're not. They're just going to keep coming forward, and it's not accomplishing what you want with that.
Oh, good left hand.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
That was a solid punch.
But you see some redness there on the thigh of Chase from those low kicks with Grillot.
Oh, interesting here.
You see him go for that trip there.
Yeah.
Those are the only kind of takedowns I've seen Chance go for. He likes trips, but against a wrestler as dangerous with such a good base as Chase has, it's going to be tough to get him on his back. I think we're going to see this fight take place on the feet.
I think so too, and unless Chance fixes something here, I just don't know if he's going to pull it off just on these kicks.
He's down 2 rounds now.
Yeah. Just not active enough.
And not enough damage.
Yeah.
That's
another good left
damage
hand.
there.
Yeah.
Every time, Chase.
Yes.
Chase and Chance.
All right.
Almost had a stroke. And he's doing a good job just sliding right out of the way of those high kicks. He's seeing things now. And I think he's kind of familiar with what Chance is bringing to the table.
Yeah, I'm agree with you there. He's Grillot's down 2 rounds right now. Absolutely.
So
it's got to drastically change something.
He has to have a finish. To win this fight, he needs a finish.
Yeah.
And the only way I see that happening is him ending up with Chance on the mat.
Yeah.
He's got to look for that submission. And even if he ends up on his back, I feel like that Chase is going to be really difficult to submit from guard. It's not going to be an easy pull guard, go straight for the armbar like it was against Preston Starcher.
That left hand or right hand, whatever he's going to do here. Yep,
there it is. Good hard left hand.
And I was right. He is a southpaw.
Yeah.
He bombs with that big left. He knows he's got power in it. He stopped guys with it. You can see the confidence he has.
Yeah, and he just looks more comfortable, man. He's letting those hands fly, and they're doing damage. Again, and Chance has got some good kicks. They're just not doing any damage, right? At least not enough to stop the fight, Gonna fix that tape on his leg. There you go.
And now we're back to the action.
I'm not
What
really.
can Chance Grillot do here to change this fight?
Man,
A
it's gonna be
takedown, or he's got to land something big.
Yeah, it goes back to what we said all night, right? Like he's got to change the landscape of the fight. Whether he's going to make it a brawl, if he's going to take it down, but if he does the exact same thing as done the first 2 rounds, it's going to be more of that.
Right now, he's still fighting Chase Thomas.
It was a crafty job he did to get out of trouble there, though. But like you got to make something happen.
Yeah.
Easier said than done against such a tough opponent, though.
Absolutely. But
you got a guy though with 2 fights fighting a guy with 6, and absolutely looking like the more experienced guy in here.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to mention. Like you said, he wanted to take a step up in competition. He's proven himself tonight. You know?
Oh yeah.
I've been pretty high on Chase for a while. But he's never fought a guy of this caliber. And Chance is a top caliber amateur here in the state. And right now, he's not had anything to show.
Yeah. And I would argue we haven't seen all of Chase's game.
No.
Right? I mean, he's probably got good clinch work, good wrestling.
Well, we saw him in his first fight on the ground. Beautiful top grappling. Yeah.
He's going to be tough to deal with.
And beautiful takedowns as well. He landed some beautiful blast double legs in that first fight.
He might be the future for this division. So,
and coming out of a top camp in the area as well.
So who would you like to see him fight next?
Man, there's a lot of contenders at that weight class. We're going to see Preston Starcher coming up soon. That's a guy who lost to Grillot, but ever since then he's looked unstoppable.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have position for 3 rounds for your NLC Featherweight title. Fighting out of the red corner, Chase the Fireball. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your new champion, Chase the Fireball Kid. And just give me one more.
Is he taking his shirt off? Elijah's getting a little crazy in there.
He's got the Fireball Kid t-shirt on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chase Thomas, my friend, how does it feel to hear new champion? Oh, it feels amazing, man. Someone gave me a butt loss because this belt's on the streets of Lonaconing, Maryland. So, let's just by far, toughest opponent in the face. Big test for you, and you passed with flying colors. So what's next? Oh, I don't know what's next, man. I just go with the flow. My coaches tell me to fight people, and I take the fights. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Sunrise